I am in the process of fixing all of my life-size Ekans because when you throw them around for a whole weekend, it does a fair bit of damage to the Pokemon. So far, we have sent the outsides for a bath, and these are the inside pieces that we are working with to repair. Quite a few were in pretty good condition and just need touch-ups on the tape, but several did not get upgraded before our last event, so those are the ones that need the most work now. I started by cutting off more segments of the smaller pool noodles to attach to the ends of the larger pool noodles, and I cleaned up all of the existing duct tape joints. I tried to improve my taping technique a bit as well, adding some straight strips to connect the two sides before wrapping the duct tape around. Because we saw on some of these that the pool noodles weren't broken at all, they were just sliding out of their duct tape joint. It took a second day, but we finally got all of the noodles all fixed up, which means it's time to go and grab our freshly laundered snake skins. Alright, so before we start restuffing noodles into the Ekans skins, we've got a little bit of maintenance to do on these skins themselves. So for starters, a lot of the ends are nice and neat, but others are less so. The same is true of these tail rattle pieces. Nice clean edges, not so nice edges. Having it nice and clean edged like that means I can just stitch the two sides together, and it makes it way easier to open and close them for future repair cycles. So I want to make sure that every single piece I have gets a nice clean finish like that. And then finally, we also just had a few pieces where, you know, we've got some loose strings hanging, and I'll try and clean those up too. We want these to be like beautiful condition when we are done here today. So let's do all of that. Cleaning up some of those loose strands that we saw throughout the Ekans was the first task I took on, then tidying up those end edges. And that was it. We were ready to start putting noodles back inside Ekans skins. And then came what ended up being the longest task that I didn't realize would take so long, which is stitching the rattles back on the Ekans and then actually sewing them back into that hoop shape. And with that, we now have 8 fully repaired Ekans. That took longer than I anticipated, actually. These tasks always take longer than I think they will, but it was really nice to have it done. It's really nice to have them not covered in convention floor grime anymore. I like that. Thank you for coming along on this little chore. I hope to see you back here next week for our next mystery project, perhaps a slightly more exciting new idea to play around with, and we'll see you around. Until then.